These are the top 100 players in the Premier League. Let's bring it home. Beautiful people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to these parts, make sure to drop some love. We have broken rank 1 foot champs, debatable, and the pine, and the best of the best in the Prem. Comment down below. Let's do a little sprinkle. Sprinkle the energies in the right place. No Premier League icons will be included in this video. We just ranked them all anyways. Adama Traore, physical wingback, for sure good enough for the weekend. Alejandro Garnacho, big upgrade. I'm giving him rank 1. I don't think he quite dabbles in the broken territory. I've only gone up against him 3 or 4 times. I wasn't that moved. Alexander-Arnold, I don't love as a fullback, so I don't know what to give you here. I'm putting him in the debate, but that's the reality. Team of the year, Allison. For a lot of you, he'll be the best goalkeeper in the game, or at least in that conversation. I'll toss him into rank 1. If you know, then you know. When it comes to goalkeepers, a lot of room for debate. Nothing is consistent. We will have differentiating opinions. Allison in the midfield. I'd give you the weekend. Dele Alli. I kind of think he's underrated, but at the same time, he's not making rotationals. We have a lot of options, so that's where I'm at. Fati is really good. This is not a value list by any means. I'm just confused by some of the pricing. Bailey for the weekend is cool. Berbatov, I love this guy. It's not even the upgraded version, which isn't our fault. Technically, the Marvel hero, I believe, has him in the Bundesliga. Bruno, he sort of ended up delivering to rank 1. Wasn't the cheapest or the most affordable, but I like his output. I've been impressed. Casemiro's not getting minutes. I don't care if it's the 90 or the 89. Not happening. Joe Cole has done enough for me this year, but I almost feel we've gotten to a point where players are catching up, but I'm still giving him the weekend. KDB with the team of the year. Goodness, I am not taking that away from him. Straight to the top. The much more affordable KDB. The 92 is really just foot champs. I don't think he's moving the needle like that. This Diaby somehow got caught up to. He's super fast, but we started getting so many upgrades. I'm not going to take that away from Alvarez. This item still has caused some pain. Diaz always stayed a little bit hefty on the pocketbooks, but at least for the weekend. Diego Carlos, I'm going into the debate, depending what you need. Jota's had a bunch of items. I don't know if we should have been including some of his purple builds from the FC Pro, or if we go with the SBC. If you have any questions about any players, use the comment section. I'll get back to everyone. I'll give Jota the weekend. Probably the best FC or FIFA player as an actual professional player on the pitch that we might have seen. Axel, what a name. Doku, I am in a position here because he plays so broken. I hate going up against him. I like using him. His R1 dribble is gross. He's one of the quickest players I've gone up against. And long shooting's not really working with that high level of consistency, so just make someone like Doku who can get inside the box, who can penetrate space, who can be relevant and prevalent during counterattacks, more valuable, and he's a scary guy to go up against. Dudek, underrated goalkeeper, at least for the weekend. He might even be rank 1. Again, you know where I fall with the goalkeepers, and that's what happens with Ederson, who I even prefer to Alisson in many regards. Maybe we just toss Dudek up there as well. Slept on. Elliott, something's not right with the stats. He doesn't play like an 89. I might even put him into the pine. We've got to start getting a little bit harsher. Emerson, the Italian, if you're looking for a more affordable fullback option or a left back option in the Prem. Ericsson's not going to happen for rotationals. Enzo Fernandez, I remember packing that item. He never got minutes, and when he did, I was not impressed. Phil Foden, I'm sort of openly, I guess, a hater when it comes to his virtual item. In real life, the touches, the precision, the ability, it's possible, it's real, it's authentic, it's organic, but I don't like any of his items thus far in FC 24. Martinelli, different storytelling. I think Gomez has to go rank 1 for what he's done for the club. I don't know if that's an aggressive play this early on, but I've used him. I still use him. He's had to put in serious minutes. 160 games, only rivals in the weekend league. It's not bad. And his item moves. We love that Thunderstruck. Jackie Grealish. That's going to be a no-go. You might want to, but he's just not built to take advantage of meta, to distract, to disrupt, to be a game changer out wide. That boy Josko. I like him a lot. Guardiol's going to join Joe Gomez. It's interesting because I think most of you will prefer Guardiol, but the price difference is ridiculous between the two of them. Haaland to the top. Has to be. has to be. I've been doing this lately where I build out additional categories at the end of the video. That could happen. Even when I stare down the 94, I don't know that he quite gets to broken, but he's a conversationalist. The reality is Haaland got that cover star juice, that boosted action. He's been performing on the actual pitch, the virtual pitch. He's big body. He's elite. He's unorthodox. He's different. He wins everything in the air. The game has a lot of crossing, a lot of whipping in, a lot of lobbing. His first touches coming down from trip through balls. He's just starting to play more and more into the direction that we've been going, especially after the new patch, which I do not support. And I put out my own personal patch thoughts and patch video on the gameplay focused channel if you want to know how I feel about the most recent update. I think it was a bit of a regression. 91 Haaland, you can still play the weekend with, but you will notice that he's nowhere near as good as the 94 or the 97. I think Kai Havertz still has to be rank 1. It's been a good item. What can I say? Højlund, Rasmus. I've been going up against him. I'll put him into foot champs. Iwobi, he left Everton, so to the pine. I love this James item. Would recommend. Gabby Jesus. I'm going to give him rank 1. I think we have to, but I hate looking at the prices. They're cooked. Am I complaining about the price points in the market? Yes. Too many players are so far beyond inflation. Gabby is one of those individuals at over 2 million coins as it stands today. And it's almost based on scarcity or rarity, not even based on ability. João Pedro, shout out to Mr. Pedro. That man has destroyed some oppositions, destroyed some teams, destroyed some experiences, ruined weekend leagues for folks. The game might have caught up to him a little bit, but still, got to give him some love. Kanu, you're not doing it. He's also part of that collective where his upgrade is for a different league. Therefore, I didn't include him in the Premier League. Before you jump in the comment section, can we get Keenan upgrade? I've always liked this guy, but I don't know if he can compete with an 86. There's just not many 86s, even 87s that are really going to push into the weekend. It feels disrespectful for how good Robbie Keane's been. Plus, we're going into March. I'll put him into the debate. Cool, into the debate. But these guys aren't shifting the culture like they once were. I think Ledley you could probably get away with for the weekend. I really like Vincent Kompany. I'm tempted to move Big Vince even into broken, but we got a real conversation between what's going on with rank 1 and broken. Kudus is not nearly as good as he once was. He can still run quick, still give you some skills, but I just think there's too many wingers. Kaut, I personally like, but you're not going to play him out wide. So do we need a disclaimer? Do you need a center mid? But even in that position, the upgrades have done the upgrading, and he's just kind of a club legend. Throughout the last couple seasons, he's done so much, but a lot of players have gotten the boost, and he's been dragging behind. Lamptey, I don't think is going to move the needle too much for too many of you. I like Rico Lewis. At least the weekend league, he could maybe be a little bit better. Hugo Lloris, I'm putting into foot champs. I know some people love him. Absolutely can't get enough of him. I see him in rotationals, in goal, constantly. I'm not that worried going up against him. I also feel there's better options. And Premier League in particular, I would prefer Ederson or Allison or even Dudek. Madison is not going to be competing anymore. Maguire's, I'm going to put him in the debate. I love this SBC. I think it was a good inclusion for the game, good modeling. Finally, we had usability for Maguire. Players are moving quick. Cunha is not getting in a rotation. I'm sorry. My apologies. Mudryk, not the same guy. There was a point in time, I'm telling you, he was boosted. He was borderline. He was electric. Quick-witted, not the same guy. And Nkunku, where do I want to take him? I almost feel that he's better than foot champs. I'm going to take Nkunku and give him actually a rank 1 inclusion, which the more I think about it, the more that I talk about it, that feels right. Odegaard, whew, this item's given me a lot of good memories. His passing's still good enough. I say that because after the most recent patch, the through balls and the over the top and the switches, you do have advantages from having players that can sit even a little deeper and just provide, just ping it out everywhere. And Odegaard can do that. Darwin Nunez, overrated, but still good for the weekend. I guess I'm saying overrated because of the prices again. The evaluation just doesn't make sense. That new release between Champions League and Europa League, the price points didn't make sense on paper whatsoever. It's messing with my head. Ogbonna for the weekend is smooth. JJ, is he still going to give you enough or not? That's the question. We need these upgraded ones. He's so nice with the skills that I don't want to take that away from him. I think most of you might even have him in the pine. Out wide. He's got a great first name. Michael out wide going in the debate. Cole Palmer, I'm slotting him into broken. What's interesting with Mr. Palmer is that he's also 6'2", which now gives you a lot of versatility with different physical numbers, the ability to score goals, to facilitate. But that size, you can play him as a center mid. You can play him as an attacking mid, a false nine, up front. If you really wanted to out wide, that also works. A lot of versatility, which gives major credit. Park Ji-sun, I'm not happy about this. Give my man an upgrade. He's set up so well to be involved, to be usable, to give you something proactive. Pedro Neto, the SBC. I think some of you will have him for the weekend. I'm giving him more of a debatable. That's my takeaway. Perisic, I've always had a lot of love for him, but am I forcing it? The game just caught up to him. It's where I'm at this point. Calvin Phillips doesn't move the room. Ramirez, oof. Yeah, I think he's still rank 1, all things considered. I don't enjoy seeing Ramirez over the course of a weekend, and neither do you. Marcus Rashford, yeah, still there. I will say this with Marcus. A lot of times we were leaning on his ability to hit these Travellas, and you've lost some of the long shooting, but whether you have fire or ice, it's going to be a good experience for you. Declan Rice, I'm not happy about it, but the game is the game. Richarlison, similar situation. I don't know where you're going to play John Risa. Maybe a center back. And if you go center back, is he doing enough for you? Potentially. I will say there's some sort of margin when it comes to heroes in the boost. I'm going to give him into the debate to be nice here. Robertson, I'm not as moved. I'm not in love. Some people really get down with the get down, but that's how I feel. Rodri, fantastic. Similar theme you're seeing with Team of the Year players plus Palmer at the moment. I tossed in the other Rodri, the 91. He's got a fire and ice. I would slot them both in. If you can't afford to go broken, go ahead and put them into rank 1. Romero, not been impressive. We have Ruben Diaz, Blues Clues. You already know the situation. When we get to the review, we're going to have one additional category which will allow for a little more fluctuation, and we can get into those details and particulars. It's necessary. It's needed. It's required. It's mandatory. Ruben Diaz with the 90. I'm just trying to give us variation. I don't really like him. Even when he came out, when he was released, it's not for me. The weekend is cool for Saka. I will say this. He's still an item that's difficult to figure out where you're going to maximize. Salah, still rank 1. If broken wasn't so stacked, he might make a case. Salah's done so much this year. Relentless. What an offensive player. Saliba, also going rank 1. Not my favorite SBC, but the ability is right. The body type is right. The positioning is right. Influence, output, physicality. It's there. Ibrahim, I don't have a lot of experience using or going up against. Maybe that tells us something. Maybe it doesn't. The Silva Team of the Year nominee is the same as the Thunderstrucks. He's kind of a surprise player. He's looked good. Dribbling is good. Responsiveness is good. Passing is good. Thiago Silva, I'm happy to have in the game, but I'll throw him to the debate. Dominic, congrats on the Player of the Month debate. Solskjaer, debate. Sonaldo, rank 1. Fire Ice, both good money. I don't know what to do with the SBC version. Do we want to lower him to a Foot Champs? He probably does enough to be in rank 1. I'm going to leave him in Foot Champs for now, because if you had the choice at the 90 versus the 89, you would go with the 90, and it's not that close. It's not that far away, but you would definitely lean towards a 90. So I want some level of separation. Could be a hot take. Sterling, I found overrated. Almost from rip. He was not doing what needed to be done. Stones, some of y'all might get behind him, Matt backdoor and support him, but I don't know. He wasn't necessarily an expensive SBC, but in this case, you get what you pay for. He's not moving the needle. Carlos Tevez, go for the market, not for the SBC. I'm going to go ahead and toss him into rank 1. A little bit of a wider build if you've used him up front or used him at all, but still, this was a big upgrade for him with the secondary hero edition. Thiago is a no-go. Yaya Toure, can't believe he has never really touched broken this year. We've had so many upgrades, but clear rank 1 still for yours truly. I don't love Trippier. That's not new if you've watched the videos. He does have 2 items. I'm going to toss them both into the debate. Virgil van Dijk, absolute game ruiner. Jeez, what a dominant human being. And I threw in his gold item because most of us aren't going to be able to get our hands on the Team of the Year. You might have touched alone, but even the gold Virgil, I think it's clear cut. Night is day. straight line, straight edge, lack of debate, rank 1. Him, Mbappe, and probably Mateus are the 3 gold items that can still have usability, but it's truly Virgil van Dijk and Mbappe that are standing on their own pedestal. Varane, we've had so many good times. Get yourself into rank 1, please. You can join the likes of Virgil van Dijk. That might be the debate with some of you guys saying that gold Virgil's so good. Kyle Walker is cool. Still go up against him. I still find him to be fast, strong, annoying. The recovery is real. The way that the game's moving right now, there might even be an uptick for Kyle Walker. Ward-Prowse, sorry, brother. Ollie Watkins, nope. Welbeck, I completed him. Even Zinchenko, I don't know that you're getting enough. There's so many better players in the Premier League, in other leagues, if you want to hybrid something out. And then there's the confusing Willian where I just don't see him in action. I read the stats. I can go through the newspaper numbers. I don't see him really in rotations, but I hear good things. I've gone up against him a couple times. He looked authentically him. I'm giving him the weekend, and that's the takeaway. Let's review. As per usual, I just don't see a lot of opportunity in the pine. It's hard to make cases here. Some of y'all might talk about Phil Foden or even Zinchenko, but a lot of these gents, even though they have had moments throughout this year, generally you don't need them. If anything, does the debate get pulled up? Do we have foot champs conversations? I would hear Trippier. I don't know that I would hear Stones. Sterling I'm keeping here, but I understand if you disagree. A lot of these players to me are the epitome of debate. We've got a few of the future stars. A lot of room if you want to conversate around those gentlemen. I've got to pull up somebody. That's where I'm coming into play here. I think Lamptey out wide if you're running some sort of true wing back, because he's undersized, but he's super quick, extremely fast, good play styles. Surprised that I'm making this decision, but I'm pulling Trippier up, the fire version, but I'd like you to play him as a center mid or a holding mid, not out wide. His facilitation, creme de la creme, premium quality, but he's just not fast, and he doesn't dribble well enough either in terms of the side to side, the opening of space. But his switches of the pitch, his crossing, pinpoint accuracy on the through balls, there's value in that. Son feels like he should be in rank 1. He does. Maybe even Saka, but we got to start dialing in here. João Pedro's done a lot for the culture. Let me go ahead and build another group. So we have made the group extra broken. And we're going to reserve this quickly. Haaland's going to go up. For me, Virgil van Dijk is going to go up, and then Rodri is going to go up. And then I'm going to keep these 3 in broken. But it allows us another gap that I think is important to have, just in case we want to do any additional moves here. And if you question Rodri's ability, I will ask, have you used him? This is my quick flip. Now let's come back down. We were talking foot champs. We're talking weekend league. There's only a handful of players that can make a case for going up to rank 1. And maybe the same could be said with even rank 1 going into broken. Some big switches are coming in here. To do what feels necessary, what feels right, Diaz is going to come up as well. He's the last in this group. I want to be clear on that. I'm actually going to bring Virgil van Dijk's gold item up to broken. I think he's that good, that influential, that amount of longevity. I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm calling it how I see it. Even Saliba, I'm not doing well going up against him. I look at Sonaldo. I look at Salah. I don't know that Yaya still has it. Rashford. Some of you might make a case for Garnacho. I haven't had the same case, but I think I'm actually going to bring Doku up. When I think of going up against somebody that I know what he's going to do, my opponent's sometimes not very good, and I'm not staying in front of him. The R1 dribble is too authentic. It's too nice with it. It's too aggressive. It's decisive. It puts me under so much pressure. I feel uncomfortable. Does Reece maybe get in there? I love that item. The hardest part might be timelines for Reece James. Bruno has been a hell of a surprise. Now, when it comes to goalkeepers, I'll hear your case. Again, it's hard to place them. This additional category, though, does allow us to move Haaland up, which makes sense. The 94 is too good. So we've got the 91 in foot champs, which is right. We skip rank 1, 94 Haaland. He joins the ranks of broken. Extra broken allows him to have that team of the year. I like what I'm seeing. Some of y'all might make a case for Guardiola, even Rodri to go up another notch, but the real Rodri is that extra broken. Salah's probably been too disgusting to not go ahead and give him this broken category. Think what he's done for the culture, how he's influenced games. And if I move Salah, I almost feel like Son has to move with him, which might work out smoothly because then I'm going to pull up the player of the month edition of Son. We were always trying to get him to rank 1. We did the deed. Garnacho might have came around full circle. I'm just looking at my movements here. He has the skills. Responsiveness is good to go. This is a difficult list. I feel good with this. Extra broken, 4 team of the years that stand above the rest. We've given Kevin De Bruyne a little bit of a lag fest. And the rest of that group, I think it's hard to deny the word broken when you attach it to that player group. Even Kai Havertz has done so much for the game in terms of changing the game out wide. I just don't know that he's going to live on long enough. That 87, I feel like, is losing steam, losing some gas while more players are being upgraded. One additional notch. We're going to go ahead and pull Big Vincent up, and we're going to call it a day. Let me know your thoughts. We had plenty of internal reflection. We're adding categories. There's so much debate in this. I look forward to the comments. I will get back to all of you. And as always, if you're new, it is free to subscribe. I appreciate you. I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.